Hey guys, welcome back. Emperor here, back with Crimson Gray, Dusk, and Dawn. So last time I talked a lot, which made a very short scene end up being 30 minutes, but I hope it did add to it, because that was a very insightful episode. We saw a lot, especially with the capitalization of he and him for John in Lizzie's writings, and also how we saw that's not just in her writings, that's also in her thoughts, right? We saw all the capitalization in her thoughts. Now, of course, again, we discussed that before, which actually I want to hear from you guys. I did hear some people don't have, like, audible thoughts in their head. But for those that do you see things with letters, or are they just with straight up words? Because, like, for me, it's mostly words. I think my thoughts in words, like, mostly, English, and then, like, little short things in Japanese sometimes. Yeah, that's how it is. So, kind of curious about that. So, if you are too, or want to talk about that, put in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Anyhow, enough about that. Let's hop into the episode here. Life improved after their conversation. Lizzie overflowed with so much positive energy that she was constantly visiting John for extra kisses and showering affection over him. His reaction was more subtle, but she could feel that it had made a difference to him. Though Lizzie wrote in her notebook, occasionally she didn't take it with her anymore and didn't feel too much need for it. In fact, when Aaron invited them to a party with his friends, Lizzie felt so free of stress that she didn't mind them going. Wow! Okay! So she kept to her thing about not bringing the notebook, and she's even okay with going to events with other people? Alright, Lizzie. Okay, I see your progress. I see it. Alright. To her surprise, the energy overflowed so much that she even enjoyed the party a little. Lizzie! Wow! Okay. I am sorry, guys, for these little helpers, but you guys are probably as surprised as I am by that. That's like, wow, that is a big change, a big development, so I'm just pretty excited to see that. She kept an eye on John at all times, noting his position. He was speaking with a mixed group, casual, but not so casual that she worried about him. Since he was fine, she didn't mind spending some time with others. Aaron's friends were usually smart and thoughtful, if a little too passionate about irrelevant things for her liking. At the moment, she was talking to a girl named Rose. She was always hanging out with Aaron, and they acted as if they might be dating. Though Lizzie also had a strong intuition that wasn't quite the case. It didn't matter to her, so she didn't pursue it. What mattered was that Rose showed no interest in John, and she didn't like how judgmental their psychology class was either. Good. That's good. So, normally I give the girls, especially since she gave them all like that Valley Girl accent, because that's kind of how they're perceived by Lizzie. But it seems like she has a little more, I guess, respect. Like, I don't know if she quite respects her, but, more respect than she gives to the other girls. So maybe we'll just do a more normal voice, even though I can't really do girl voices. So anyhow, let's just see what I can do. No alcohol at all, huh? Not judging. I was just wondering if it was a personal commitment or something. Lizzie was drinking water from her cup, though she hadn't thought about it. She knew the exact reason. Becoming intoxicated reduced her ability to enjoy John's presence, and slightly decreased her combat potential. Thus, was to be avoided at all costs. It's not to my taste. And that's cool, honestly. Some drinks taste so shitty, I wonder if people really like it. Or if society just convinces everyone they need to like it, because it's refined or whatever. Oh my goodness. Yes. So you guys might know this. I don't know if I've really commented on it too much. Unfortunately, I am a very picky eater, which often serves me poorly. Because unfortunately, I don't like the taste of vegetables and other such healthy food. I do like fruit, and I do like meats and things like that. So that kind of healthy to an extent. But unfortunately, I do also like carbs. But one thing that I'm very glad I hate is alcohol. I hate the taste of alcohol. So I don't not drink alcohol for any kind of ethical reasons. So I do think drinking alcohol in excess can be troublesome. I do think it is beneficial for my health not to drink, but again, I just hate the flavor. So yeah, I don't like bitter things. Same thing with coffee. So I'm in tea camp all the way. I hadn't thought about that before. Society convinces us all kinds of things, like who decided that weddings should be these obscenely elaborate performance. Wow, I messed that up so much. Obscenely elaborate performances, and wearing white is just a vestige of an absurd older custom. I mean, I get where she's coming from on that. Especially about the elaborate one. Like, I think it's fine to have a simple wedding. Though I do like the white part. I think its symbolism is actually quite good. As you guys know about Western culture, you know that the white for a wedding symbolizes purity, and like kind of like the new start, a new start, as in like, it's a start to a new adventure, which, ideally marriage is meant to last forever, which for John and Lizzie, it definitely should. Of course, we know in modern society that's normally not the case. Unfortunately, divorce rates are very high. But of course, ideally, when you get married to someone, it's a commitment like that. So you're coming in pure to a new arc of life, a new story in life, and that's kind of what the white represents there. Of course, I think what she's referring to is the white representing virginity, which again probably is far less common these days. But I mean, again, it can represent what you see it as, and I think that both representations could be accurate to what was originally intended. I was hoping to wear white for our wedding. Normally, Lizzie would have followed the tone of the conversation and not offered any contradiction, since that would just lead to annoyances. One reason Rose was acceptable was that she didn't get offended when people disagreed with her, which meant Lizzie didn't have to waste energy on such things. Hey, see, look, the fact that she even, sees that in Rose shows that she's at least, I guess she pays attention to everyone to see if they're a threat, but again, I think that, she does kind of see her as different, even though we see her as the same image, which does tell us that, again, if you're not John, you're kind of a cookie cutter person. It's 100% fine. If that's what you want, I just think that some people only stumble into it because it's what society expects. But you're about the last person I'd expect to be that way, Lizzie. Really? Yeah, it's pretty obvious you don't care about what other people think. I admire that. Oh, thank you. Which is funny because Lizzie definitely tries to put up that she does care. But I guess Rose saw through that. She knows that she really doesn't, which I think probably would be fairly obvious. I mean, I do think that Lizzie is good at putting on a normal face, but that depends where in the window of normal you see it. Probably even with that, it's probably on the edge. So I think people that look deep into her could probably still see that she's not concerned with other people like Rose is here. Lizzie gave her a smile that wasn't faked. One of the few real smiles she'd given to anyone other than him. In the old days, it would never have happened. But being together with John was so wonderful. She felt like she had an excess of happiness. Enough to share it with people who were acceptable company when he wasn't there, even. Again, I know I commented on it a few times, but that is just a huge, huge step for Lizzie. Because again, I just talked about people that weren't John just don't matter to her at all. So this, even if it's not saying like, do I think that she'd care if these people died? No. I don't think she would really care all that much. But the fact that she at least sees like investing time with them as not a complete waste, huge step. Huge step. Their conversation didn't continue for too long after that. After that, though, because several of Rose's other friends showed up. She didn't try to press Lizzie to join them, so Lizzie was soon alone again. I think that shows why probably Rose is a little more acceptable to Lizzie, that she's not forcing her to join in on that. Because again, Lizzie probably wouldn't want to be drawn into that, which is why she's not joining. Some people don't do it because they feel socially awkward about it, but for Lizzie, she doesn't want to. That was fine with her, though she began to ponder if she could collect John and leave. Collect him. John, I'm putting you in the bag. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. She takes John. The company didn't seem to have worn him down yet, so perhaps they could stay a little longer. Well, as he considered that, someone else ambled up beside her. Enjoying yourself? Wait, what voice did I give him again? I can't even remember. Enjoying yourself, Lizzie? Sure, thanks for inviting us. No problem. I'm glad to hear it. You two are hard to read. Really? Well, you seem to understand each other on a deeper level. And it's nice to see, honestly. I wish I had a relationship that close. Of course, I don't have one at all right now. Oh, I thought you and Rose... Aaron stopped for a full second, giving her a bizarre expression. He narrowed his eyes as if uncertain if she was being serious. Oh! Ooh. So, normally being gay would be totally fine. But he spends a lot of time around John. So for Lizzie, let's see what Lizzie says about this. Let's see her thoughts on this. I'm a little worried. Again, I just want to clarify this just in case anyone, takes this the wrong way. It's totally cool to be gay. You know what I mean? There's no problem with anyone's sexual preferences of any kind, as long as you're not going after animals. Again, bestiality is not cool because they can't consent. Consent is key, guys. Consent and adult. Those are 2 rules. All right, follow up with consent and adult. Consenting adult. Those are the rules. Anyhow, moving on. Lizzie, do you really not know? I'm gay. And he had been laughing and talking with John earlier, and she remembered that he had slapped John on the back. Had his hand lingered too long? And not only was he single, but he had just that thing about wanting a relationship like theirs. Oh, shoot. Is this even appropriate for YouTube? Alright, let's rush to this part. No, I hadn't noticed. Huh? You have that look in your eyes. Damn, Lizzie. If you were anyone else, I'd almost be offended. Oh, I'm just upset. I didn't notice. I hope you find a man you love and you two get married. Okay. I'm not trying to have a chip on my shoulder. It just, the Midwest is a pretty conservative place. I mean it, though. Oh, Lizzie 100% means it. She's like, get away from John. Go find someone. Go find someone else. Oh, my goodness. It took a supreme effort of will for Lizzie to finish the conversation without giving the wrong impression. Such a thing would have been impossible for her as she was 3 years ago. But thanks to John, she could do better. A better job of looking outside herself. Though it couldn't touch anything within her, she could intellectually understand that Aaron was saying to her. People disapproving of him was very similar to people who might disapprove of her, so her reaction didn't need to be faked. Though he was sharper than most, she didn't think Aaron sensed any of the turmoil inside her. Okay, I'm kind of glad this is off the screen because I'm worried that YouTube's gonna take this down. But if they do, I just have to edit out the parts that were and put it back up, so it's fine. I don't think it was too much because it was kind of showing the undies a bit, but there wasn't like any kind of bulge or anything like that. So hopefully, Hopefully it's fine. I think it should be. I think it should be. YouTube has some content up there. Yeah, should be fine. We'll keep it in. we'll see how it goes, guys. But if you guys don't like seeing content like that, let me know. We can see. But I think that was fine. When he finally left, though, she was relieved. How would she miss something so important? Maybe Aaron was a good person, but most weren't. Lizzie had thought she could focus on nothing but her relationship with John, yet now she realized that her focus had given her blind spots. Lizzie, don't worry about it. For one thing, John's straight, so even if Aaron's gay, it's not a problem. Gay guys and straight guys can be friends and it not mean they're in a relationship. Even two gay guys can be friends and it not mean they're in a relationship. I'm pretty sure Lizzie realizes that. I mean, she didn't murder him, for instance. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I think she understands that. Well, let's keep going and see. Anyhow, so she saw that blind spots. There were other consequences too. Lizzie presumed that John knew and was paying more attention to such things. She had been acting so close to Rose earlier in the party. Had some part of him seen it and worried she might be interested in anyone other than him? That's an interesting thought, because we do know that there's no way Lizzie sees anyone else but John as a romantic partner. But from John's perspective, would he still have those words? Because he knows her mindset. Anyhow, it's an interesting thought. Because we do know, he does suffer with self-doubt, so maybe it's possible. She didn't fear that John would feel jealous. That wasn't his nature, but he might find some way to doubt his self-worth. Yep, exactly what we just mentioned there. So, yeah, I think Lizzie has a very good understanding of John. Not just, from her obsession, but the real John there. Maybe wondering if he wasn't enough for her or something else equally absurd. At his best, he would understand it was false, but if he was depressed... Lizzie realized that instead of taking a drink, she was chewing on the rim of her cup, hard enough that she tasted plastic. Better than her finger, since she was in public, but still a sign that she needed to pull back and reconsider. Slipping out as soon as she could, Lizzie headed back home, trying to integrate the new information. She had thought that the social understanding she had developed over the years growing up would be more than enough for her to navigate any social interaction. Wow, I sounded super robotic there. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick up the words and I'm Anyhow, I'll improve. I'll get better, guys. Trust me, I don't improve. I just need to get accustomed again. She was too nearly focused on herself and John. That was where her attention should be, of course. But her anxiety was creeping upward again, and wouldn't stop until she felt confident in her analytical abilities again. That night, Lizzie decided not to write anything in her notebook. Instead, she just nestled up against John and held him, which he gladly reciprocated. It didn't take her too long to fall asleep after that. And there we go. That's a good point to end the episode, I believe. So again, we saw an interesting scene this time, because we kind of saw how she saw Aaron differently after learning he was gay. But again, not from a bigotry or how do you put it, discriminating way, but one of seeing him as a threat to, her relationship with John. But luckily, Lizzie has matured enough, like she said, that she no longer instantly goes into kill mode. She did go into red mode for a bit, seeing him as a threat, but especially because we saw the picture change. But again, we saw the development too, and hopefully this doesn't bring her back down too much. but we'll see that in the next episode, which, if you want to see, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, guys, I thank you so much for watching the video to this point and being with me through this series. We're going to get there, and we're going to continue getting more and more. And if you want to play a part in this story as well, hit in the comment section below, and let's talk. Let's have a conversation about what's going on. Anyhow, guys, again, love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Laters.